Thank you. Thank you for that warm welcome. That's a tough fact to follow. Look, I want to do this first, and I think it's important because, I'm introducing myself, and I think, people saw what happened on June 6th. I've said then, I say it now, this is not about me. It's about the vulnerable people in our community that we're defending and what we're fighting against and what we have to fight for. But I also think being who I am is important to introduce myself. I'm a second-generation Chicano. I was born, thank you, I was born in East Los Angeles, raised in Southeast LA. My family came from Mexico 2 generations ago. And I say this very, proudly. My uncles, my cousins, my brothers, they served World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan. I say this I say this because that is the ultimate sacrifice that they did as combat veterans. And I say this because as a second-generation Chicano, and what I represent and what we represent right now in the fight of Los Angeles is that we're fighting because we have earned our space in this country. And for me, it's very important to say that because my father, he was a Teamster. He loaded and loaded trucks for his 2 boys as a single father to be able to provide us the needs, what we needed in order to continue on and move forward. But one thing he taught me that was very important is this dignity. Work is dignity. Work is our power. Work is what we see and what we create and what we do. And he taught me that. And it's those life lessons that all work is dignity is really what brings me to this career that I've had now for 29 years and the privilege and the honor to be able to represent some of the most courageous workers in Justice for Janitors and Stand for Security and Airport Workers United. And I say this because the reality is the fight that we have in this moment in time is the fact that we are fighting a system that has benefited from the oppression, from the exploitation of working people. Whether you came here 400 years ago in chains or you crossed a border, this system has benefited based on the exploitation of working people. And it's now time for us to fight back. Right? We cannot allow them to criminalize working people. When they are doing what they're doing in Los Angeles, and trust that what they're doing in Los Angeles is going to go across this country. Because what they know is cruelty, right? What they're doing is they are criminalizing people because they have the audacity to work and provide for their families, right? We went to Delano one day, and we showed up there, and I'm not sure if you all saw it, but, there was a Univision town hall. And there was a campesino, a farm worker, who spoke at that time, candidate Trump, and he said, con estas manos, yo te corto el brócoli, yo te corto las fresas que te pongo en la mesa. Y si nos vas a deportar a todos, ¿quién te va a poner su comida en su mesa y cuánto vas a pagar por esa comida? Right? And we have to realize is that there is power in our hands. These hands represent power. And what they are doing now, and what we're going to see as of October 1st, because October 1st is the day that they're going to make the greatest transition of wealth in this country we've ever seen. They're going to dismantle our healthcare system. They're going to dismantle the food programs for the hungry and the poor. They're going to dismantle our public school education by denying funding for the disabled and the autistic. And they're going to transfer all this wealth so billionaires can become trillionaires. And we, brothers and sisters, we have to now take a stand. That stand that we took on June 6th, we have to take it collectively. All of us have to stand against oppression. All of us have to stand against authoritarianism. And we have to realize, because it's going to take hard work, it's going to take organizing, it's going to take us to be able to build our power across difference, so that all people can come into the center. And all people can come into the center to create something different, something better. Because if what we're doing is to go back and try to rebuild what was in the past, well, let me tell you, what was in the past was not good enough. And what we have to do is resist in this moment, and through that resistance, build power. And when we build that power, engage that power, so when we do start rebuilding, we rebuild something that's better than what we had. Working people is what makes this economy. This economy cannot function without us. This economy cannot function with the farm workers. It cannot function with without the janitors. It cannot function without long-term care workers. It cannot function with the people who service us each and every day and who make the billionaires, the trillionaires they are. So I know, and I've seen in my 29 years as being an organizer, I've seen what working people can do when they come together, right? I've had that privilege and I have that honor of being able to lead Justice for Janitors, and what they've been able to accomplish, what they've been able to do, right? What they have been able to do is build a union that stands in the face of power and demands every day respect and dignity and justice. And those are immigrant workers who achieved that. Those are immigrant workers that fled civil war. Those are immigrant workers that fled the violence of poverty. Those are the workers that came to this country to say that it's not enough to just build a better life, but it's something that to work towards. And I think collectively, I feel that this moment that we're in right now, speaks for us to come together. It speaks for us to be able to resist. It speaks to us to say that we have to stand our ground, and while we stand our ground, to embrace those around us. I tell my members, let's not ever make the same mistake we did in 2024. Let's not decide how we vote based on the price of an egg, but let's decide how we vote for the security of our family and our community. Let's make a demand for something better. Let's demand health care for all. Let's demand a secure retirement for working people. Let's demand that all people have access to a union. And let's demand once and for all that immigrants have a right to be in this country, and that we have a pathway to citizenship for all people. I stand, and I will not be silenced. I will not be quiet, and I will resist. And that means that we have to form the organization in our community, in our families, with our neighbors. We have to create the disruption. As a labor organizer, I'm committed to creating disruption. And if it's necessary, I'm ready to stop the means of economy. I'm ready to call for a strike. Let's do this. As an organizer, I say disrupt. As an organizer, I say disrupt. As an organizer, I say let's not cooperate. As an organizer, I say let's band together, let's move together, let's fight together, and let's win this together. Thank you very much.